What's up, guys? This is Porcupine Theater here. I just got finished watching SpinnerNet's YouTube channel 2.0 Beta Sucks and 10 Reasons Why He Dislikes It video, and I felt that I definitely needed to make a response based on my own thoughts and my own opinions on the new channel quote-unquote upgrade. And I have to put that in quotes because it really is not one whatsoever. I noticed a couple days ago, whenever I was visiting my multitude of channels, that now it has become mandatory, and they have forced us to go from the, I guess you could call it 1.0 to the 2.0 channels here on YouTube. Now, obviously, some of you do not have this problem yet because you are featured directors, you have given money to the site, and perhaps because of that, you should have an option, which is cool by me, but this is an option. This is something that's no longer really available to you unless that you are willing to give money or something like that. And even still, I think you're still going to have to move over to channel 2.0, so what's the point? There is no point right now because, well, if I was going to pay money to just get the 2.0 anyways, I would just not pay money, which is what I'm choosing to do. Now, SpinnerNet outlined a number of reasons why he disliked the channel, and I have to agree that with many of those, I agree. So this is just, there's no reason for me to really give any more reasons why this is a poor idea. It really just speaks for itself. It really does. If you go to one of these 2.0 video channels and take a look at it, a lot of the points that he made really stand out. So I definitely recommend to check out his video. Now one thing that I will say is that the scroll bar is not something that's required. There is a spread view, which is a little bit nicer, but there are still a lot of bugs in it. There's still a lot of things that are not completely fixed about it. If you go to the most viewed videos and you try to view that in a logical, sequential, numerical order, it'll do well for about, I would say, the first 30 to maybe 50 to 60 videos, but then you'll start to notice that it really doesn't sync up. You'll see a video that's, let's just say, for the sake of argument, has 100 views, and then the next one will have 98 views, as it should, but then the one after that will have 113 views. Now, obviously, that's, by numerical standards, should be first out of the three, but it's not. So this is just a little bug that I think that YouTube it's what they were talking about. It's something that they really are looking to work on, to get rid of, to have it work a little bit more smoothly, but it doesn't right now. It's not ready. It really isn't ready. These channels have not been ready ever since they started it, and really, ever since July 15th, whenever they announced it was going to become mandatory, I don't see where the changes are. I don't see how they changed anything between July and now. Now it's about October 15th, so we're talking roughly 3 months that they've had to work on this, and I cannot notice really any changes whatsoever to these channels at all, these upgrades at all. It's very annoying. And I agree that the scroll bar is terrible, and I agree that there only being 3 of your last 3 videos show up, your last 3 favorites, and your last, sometimes it's your last 3, sometimes it's 2 of your of your playlists. Another thing that I noticed, and I had to do this on all of my accounts, is that the most recent couple of playlists that you have uploaded are the only ones that would show up initially. And what you have to do, there's an option menu whenever you get to your playlist, and you have to checkbox. You have to go to the dialog box, and you have to check each and every one of them if you want all of them to show up whenever somebody goes to view your playlists. If you don't do that, your playlists are not going to show up on your channel. Once again, this is another bug that they're probably working to rectify, but again, on the 1.0s, this worked fine. The favorites worked fine. Everything was very smooth, and everything looked very beautiful. The design, whether it be something that you customized or whether it be something that was just one of the default selections that they had available to you via YouTube, they all looked very structurally sound, and then they looked very visually good. There was a lot of things about that were very customizable, very fun, and you could kind of put your own spin on the channel. I've seen all sorts of unique things, and it's made me wish that I had a little bit more of an artistic side to me besides talking, making videos, and writing, because my channel would probably look a lot neater. It's another thing. With these new channels, the channels themselves just do not look neat. They look very clustered. if there was such a thing as an online claustrophobe, they would be bottled up in a corner in the fetal position crying for their mother right now. This is terrible. There's just so much that they're trying to throw at you, and I understand that the point is try to get as much information out there as possible and do it in a very neat and compact sense. However, the way that they did this was absolutely ridiculous. I'm hoping that in time, once they get some of the initial bugs plucked out of this, that they're going to make this a lot more customizable and you're able to make it a little bit more deep. And by deep, I mean you're able to maybe expend a little bit more space, but make the 2.0 channel look a little bit less like everything's being thrown at you at once. Because what happens with that is you're being thrown with so much that you can easily be turned off. And the way that it's presented is in a way in which it's very difficult to kind of sift through all of the sand and get to exactly what you want to see. Like, for example, if you want to see a video that somebody uploaded, but they've uploaded 6 or 7 videos ever since. You have to go into their uploaded videos, and you have to scroll down or use the spread option like I do, and you have to find it. If a user hasn't taken care of their playlists, like I just told you that you can do, then you have to go and do a search for the videos, or you have to sift through it. And I watch a lot of gamer plays, and these are people that make 30 to 40 parts for one game, if not more. So they have anywhere between 800 to 1,500 to 2,000 uploaded videos. And sifting through all of that can be a large, time-consuming pain in the ass. And it's just not fun to do. And that's really the point. 2.0 was supposed to make YouTube fun. It was supposed to improve YouTube. But what it really has done is made YouTube a lot less cool. It's made it a little bit more of a hindrance, of a time-consuming act that you have to do just to get to a video that you want to watch. And that's what YouTube's all about. It's about watching videos that you made or that other people made, sharing information, having fun, being creative. And this is just 2.0 has made it very, very difficult to do the bare bones thing that YouTube was supposed to be in business for. Now, an interesting statistic that SpinnerNet mentioned, and I'll mention it in this video as well, is that whenever they announced that these beta channels were coming into existence and gave people the option to check it out, roughly about 98% of the comments were not in favor of the channel 2.0, the betas, whatever. And only 2% roughly were for it. And yet YouTube decided to stay the course and continue with the beta upgrade. Now, what they should have done, in my personal opinion, and what would make a lot more business sense, is gauge the reactions of videos like this one in SpinnerNets, gauge the reactions of what people have left in comments, and etc., and see how they can make these channels, a little bit more user-friendly and a little bit more geared towards what their users want. Right now, it seems a lot ever since the YouTube has made a couple of business choices, it's now become all about the money and a little bit less about the user. And while the purpose of being in business is in fact to make money, I'm not discounting that fact whatsoever, so please ignore any comment that you have in your head regarding that. You still have to think about your target customer and your target market. Yes, people are still going to come to YouTube and use the service regardless of what crap that you throw at them. However, they're not going to be happy, and as soon as something else comes up, they're going to be prone to jump ship. So all I have to say in conclusion to this is plain and simple. The fact that I have now finally been forced to upgrade to the YouTube 2.0 channel beta has me very pissed off. I've had to make several cosmetic changes to my channel that I had perfectly set up to my liking before. The fact that I have to do that all over again is time consuming, it's a pain in the ass, and it keeps me from doing things like this. Talking to you guys about things, and not talking to you guys about YouTube and things like this. I'm sure you guys would love to have me get back to wrestling, or music, or whatever channel of mine it is that you love to view. But all I am saying about this is that it's terrible. And it needs a lot of work, it needs a lot of help, a lot of bugs still need to be fixed, and this is not something that should have been forced upon us now. Whenever everything was fixed, then maybe, but there's still a lot that needs to be done. So YouTube Channel 2.0 Beta does not have my seal of approval, does not meet my standards of quality and excellence. YouTube, if you're watching this, in my opinion, you have failed.